What's going on, guys? It's Brendan from Market Makers. If you just watched my markets video, I didn't do an intro today. I don't want to repeat all of it, but given all of the crazy, needless, senseless, politically motivated, racially motivated violence that's happened in the last couple of weeks between the Charlotte train, Charlie Kirk's assassination, today's 9/11, didn't feel the need to do an intro. I spent a couple of days in the hospital this week with some back issues. I had to get some tests done and debating surgery or not. So that's kind of where like my mind's been. So apologize for the delay in the video. Next week, we'll get back to having some more fun with some of these intros and yeah, just take it from there. But let's go ahead and look at this on Bitcoin because we have the rate cut rally in full effect in the markets. Bitcoin, we're seeing if it's going to get off its ass. It's doing a little bit of a bounce here at 114.5. Couple of things, guys. This is a big macro cycle chart, the 4-year cycle chart. So just understand what you're looking at here. Remember, we do have our RMA moving average, which is a beautiful thing, how it's played out all the time since 2013. Once we cross the beach ball of the previous all-time high, the top has been in within 30 days, okay? Within 30 days over here. And you can see we're just about now, let's look at this. We are at 59,791. So once we cross 69,000, which is only just slightly over 9,000 points away. The top should be in within 30 days. Now, Bitcoin didn't get to my summer rally top of 132. It got to 125, pretty close. All the other markets that I had targeted between the DAX, the Dow, the S&P, the Spider, the Qs, the NASDAQ, they all hit their targets for the rally that I was looking for in the summer. And Bitcoin fell a few thousand points short, but rest assured, I mean, look, when we go to do the blow off, 132 is going to get hit. And of course, I have the higher level target of 168 and 150 is in between. But this is what everybody should be watching because if you believe this time's different, that's fine. But you know what I think? I think this time plays out like every other time. And I think 2026 for Bitcoin is going to look exactly like 2022. We went down 77%. 4-year top. You can see all the major declines, average of around 75%. That's what I'm expecting. The question is, where's that 75% decline from? Is it from 132? Is it from 150? Is it from 168? Tom Lee thinks we're going to be at 200,000 by December, by Christmas essentially, which I don't see. That's 10 weeks away. I don't see how we're going to basically double before then, but this has been my targets, guys. 168 has been my target. So, you know, I never try to close my mind to any possibility. But we look at Bitcoin dominance. Again, hit our targets beautiful. We got to 65% up here at the 1618. Fell down beautifully in a channel, broke down, fell just shy of the 1618 to the downside. You're trying to bottom. And when you look at this, you have to look at this in conjunction, of course, when we get to the money flows in the market. But looking at our bigger targets here, again, there's that 132. This will complete a beautiful 3 waves to a top as well. When you have this play out, you have wave 1, wave 2, wave 3. If we get up here, if we flip it and continue on, I have 150, 168, but we got to get up there, right? We still got to get to 132 to see what the reaction level is. And, you know, really look at this in conjunction with the NASDAQ and the Russell, because in November 2021, the Russell and Bitcoin topped within 72 days of or 72 hours of each other. And that's basically because there's a weekend between when they topped. They essentially topped at the same time. Russell's coming up to a beautiful triple top pattern. And then think about NASDAQ. It topped 2 weeks after Bitcoin in November 2021 and then fell on its way to lose 38%. So just want to watch this. Just keep the timing in your mind. Regardless of the price, keep the timing in your mind, because if the 4-year cycle plays out again, you're looking at a top and a major decline. This is a problem that you have with total market cap in crypto. You still have 3.95 trillion as your ceiling. You're at 3.91, so you're coming back up, which is good. But again, my thesis is to get to that 132, 150. Well, you could probably get to 132 because you got a spike up here to 125. But to get to that 150, 168, you need more money in crypto. You need more trillions to come into crypto, or hundreds of billions to come into crypto. And ultimately, I think you could get up to 4.72 trillion once we actually get the blow off top. So let's just look at this on some charts as well. We look at Bitcoin on a nice 8-hour chart. You have your trading range. We talk about, I saw people saying, well, Bitcoin didn't fall at all after it hit that top in the summer, right? After it hit that August 14th top, I mean, it did fall. It fell 14%. Not a big retracement. I was looking for 20 to 25%, but now you're trying to move back up. The question that everybody needs to ask themselves is how much oomph does this have, right? Does this have, you need more money entering the market to take this out. As you can see just from total crypto cap, you look at your Sigma momentum oscillator, we got a nice bullish cross here to the upside. Guys, this is an indicator. I talked about it all the time. I just created this a couple weeks ago, but this with my DVD, these are all indicators you get for free. If you want to check out our YouTube membership, you can click the join button and get all of the staff's videos as well. And they all have different opinions than me. You're not getting 2-3 people talking about the same things. They have different opinions, different views on inflation, different views on crypto. So it's kind of like watching 3 channels at once. And of course, you can always check out our Discord or our website at marketmakers.trade. Momentum is picking back up. Price is picking back up. You want to look at this from a Fibonacci perspective, pull it from your all-time high down to your retracement level low. And of course, you need some fibs on here. So look at your 382, 50%, 618. And I always like the 72 or 78%. And you look at this, you got above the 382, next level resistance, 115, 618 at 117.9, which lines up beautifully with this fractal right here, right there at 117. So that's the next key level I'm looking to. Obviously, you have an uptrend going on here, right? So when you always look at your trends, you have a low, you have a high, you have higher low, you have a higher high as of now. So when you start looking at, well, what could reverse it? Look at your last low, right? Look at your 110 and beneath that over here, 109. So look at that 110. You'd have to break that to start breaking the uptrend. And with the rally going on in the markets, with the rate cut expected next week from the Fed, you can obviously see Bitcoin continue to grind up, okay? Where I'll get more excited personally is once you can get back above this 120, 117, 120 area, be in the upper echelon, right? Get off the ground, be in the upper echelon. And if this is the case that we end up just breaking out for the blow off without any type of larger retracement, I want to trade that breakout to the upside because again, I think you're getting to 132, 150, 168. 150 is right in the middle. So that is a nice gain of 25, 27, 30,000 points depending where I was going to be looking for a long, but I want to see that in conjunction with the markets. I need to see the breath pick up. I need to see money come into crypto. There's things I want to see because until then, you could be just getting a pseudo bounce up to say 117, 120, and then come back down again, right? Base again, and then come up for your blow off. So just keeping all that in mind. We look at this from our lunar cycles. What's interesting is we had the blood moon last cycle, which literally was the first day of the pivot up. Bitcoin trades 24/7. So you actually, even though it was on the weekend, you can see it here perfectly. So you had your up move. And then of course, on the previous lunar cycle, you had the down move as the day of the selling to start. So you had down and up. And then of course you had a breakout to the upside. So lunar cycle has been tracking really nicely here. September 21st is your next one. Obviously, that's a few days after the Fed as well. So we'll see what happens here with Bitcoin. Just looking at it from a cyclical perspective. Looking at strategy, MSTR. I like to call it monster. But we came down to 326, 325. Actually, we got down lower. We got all the way down to like 317. Target was 309. So just shy. Trying to put in a base. You can see you had a nice ABC here, fell out of your Wyckoff trading range. You back tested that range right here. Then you sold back off. But again, you'd want to see this re-enter the range above 358 to get more bullish on it. See some series of higher lows, higher highs. See this continue to escalate, which obviously it would do if it tracks to Bitcoin. Let's go ahead and look at this as well. BitMiner, that was requested by you guys, so I threw it on here. BitMiner, obviously Tom Lee, I believe, is what, the chairman now? But they adopted the Ethereum strategy. They want to own 5% of all Ethereum. Had a huge spike up to 161, sold back off. You do have a W fractal, as you guys can see here on the daily, right? You have a W fractal starting to form. So the key thing with that is when you're looking at this, if you're going to look at this from a GAN perspective, is taking out that midpoint of $71. You're at 47 until you exit this trading range and get above 59 because you got above 59, you fell all the way back off down to 39. So you want to see this come up, get your Livermore pivot, right? Do something like this, base or something, and then start breaking out to the upside. That's what I'd be looking at. And if that happens, then you can look at some of these other levels. Let's get a 50% retracement on here. Let's look at this, 382, 50%. So you have $80 just above you, 95, 111 at the 618. But again, this is going to track closely with what crypto's doing, with what Ethereum's doing specifically, and just the overall market. But you know, it doesn't look potentially too weak now. It has a higher low structure, but again, we still have to get to the rate cut. Will the market do a pseudo rally to the rate cut and then eventually sell off like a sell the news type event? So we'll see that, or sell the event type of situation. Looking at Ethereum, this is a very simple chart. Bullish above 4,100 if you can hold it, and to break out to the upside, you got to take out 4,850, right? You're right in the middle of 4,400. So I'm sorry. Yeah. Bullish above 4,100, bearish below 4,100 as well. If you want to look at it from that perspective, meaning if you chop, break down, retest 4,100 just above, you could be breaking down, but you're just going sideways. And as you guys know, when you go sideways, you don't have a bias per se. It's about the trend. And you can start going down to 8-hour candles, 4-hour candles, seeing what your trend is. But you're between 4,900 and 4,100. We're almost right there in the middle. So that's just something you want to watch and look at the overall markets. You look at your DVD, you got some nice volume here. Momentum's still bearish. You're still holding the range, so you're performing a coil. If you were to break out here, let's just look at how I would look at targets. Let's go over here to a midpoint here, December 16th, 24, pull it down to your retracement level low. Look at that, 1272 is right at 48.50, which is what you hit, sold off, but you're coiling beneath it. If you were to break out above it, 5,800, 6,800 are the two levels above you. If you need to rest more, you're going to keep coiling in this range. If you break out and come back again, that's still my base case. If you do break out, you see the market's grinding, I would like to see pullbacks or more chopping before the final move up. But again, here we are almost in mid-September looking for a Bitcoin market cycle top November plus or minus 4 weeks, because that's what it's been historically for multiple cycles now. So, and that's what it was in November 2021. So I just want to watch and see which way this breaks, get some hints. You look at Solana, easy to see channel uptrend, got above your 618, 786 is at 252, you're at 226. But look at that. I mean, look at the beauty of geometric shapes. Look at the beauty of channels. I mean, you're hitting the channel. Can you break out above it? Or you're going to start pulling back some? Clear uptrend. But that's your next level up is 252. If you can continue to break out of the channel, if it ends up holding you in check, then you want to look at some of these levels that you've been at, right? Right around the 205 level, which you've checked multiple times. So just watch Solana, see how it starts performing. If we look at SUI, right at the midpoint of the channel, got to the top of the channel, sold off, back at the midpoint of the channel. So you need to cross that midpoint to come up to $3.99, basically $4. And to get above that, you have 430. And then of course you have the top of the channel up there at 471, which you have visited several times now in the channel. So you want to watch these levels. Weakness below you. If you cross below 336, you're at 360. You cross below 336, watch 311, which is your deepest fractal in this recent retracement as well. So just watch and see how that plays out. We look at XRP. I mean, most of these markets are pretty dull. You're staying above 291, which is really good. You keep dipping below, but you're staying above it. You're at 299, almost $3. Same levels are above you as resistance. Look how they acted. 329 caused a top and a sell-off. 329, 370, 434. Same thing to the downside, guys. If you start breaking below these fractals like 265, you have to look at the lower levels, $2, 225. That's where XRP would be coming. But as of right now, you're still going sideways. You're still holding on top of a range. If we look at ADA, you're bullish above here at 78 cents. Resistance is at $1, $1.10 as just above you. Look at your trend, right? The trend is good. You have a low, you have a high, higher low, higher high, higher low still. So until this trend breaks, you're in an uptrend, right? You'd have to see some of these fractals get taken out to the downside if you were going to start breaking down. But we're just kind of, this is, I would call this obviously upwards bullish trend, but it's choppy at the same time, very wavy. People get chopped up. People like to trade, ideally as a swing trader, what I like to trade are breakouts and breakdowns, right? If you can catch the move here, just ride it. If you can catch the move here and just ride it through the chop. Trading in between the chop can be a little bit more difficult, especially with a key, possibly euphoric event coming up next week with the Fed. So watch that. Next week, we'll get back on a regular schedule for videos, guys, and we'll have a little bit more fun in the videos. Hope everybody has a fantastic weekend.